So I'm Jon Chattman. I'm here with Triple H. How are you, man?
I'm great. Yourself?
I'm good. I'm good. So the Chaperone, talk to me a little bit about it, because the whole vibe that I got when I was watching it was very 1980s-esque kind of, humor. Like I saw in the press notes it says kindergarten cop, and that was like the first thing that entered my mind. So when you're choosing scripts and you're such a tough guy, or you play a tough guy sometimes, this must have been refreshing, right?
Yeah, it was. When I read scripts and stuff, I just look for a good story.
Yeah.
It's the kind of thing, I read a script that if I'm 3/4 of the way through it and I can't wait to get to the end, I know it's a good story,
Yeah.
And when I read this, I enjoyed it. I liked it. I thought it had some cool aspects to it. I thought it was cool that there's this big tough guy and then these kids kind of save him in the end. And it had a heart, and it was just a good story. I didn't choose it for this reason, but one of the things that also was a draw to me was the fact that I could do different things other than, do what everybody expects, which is us, WWE superstars to come out and just be these tough guys that shoot people and blow stuff up.
Right.
I got to be a dad, and funny in parts, and emotional in parts, and then to vary it up a bit. So it was kind of nice, a lot of fun, a good challenge.
Now you have 3 girls at home, so I'm assuming you're putty in their hands. So I mean,
Yes.
do you think you could have taken this role before you had all the kids? Or
I don't know,
is that one of the appealing things?
Yeah, I don't know. I think having 3 girls, especially, it was very easy for me to take Ariel Winters, who's just a phenomenally talented actress, and could give me so much of this. I just imagined that it was my daughter, and it was very easy to get emotional about it. I think I could have still done it. I don't know if I could have got emotionally into that same state before I had kids, because once you do, it's a whole different world.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing your daughters are never going to date, because you're going to be way too intimidating to anybody.
I might have a large screen TV with a constant loop of my most physical matches playing in the background, and we'll have a little talk in front of that TV before they go anywhere.
I bet.
Yeah.
Do you ever think about that? Like,
I do think about that. Just the other day,
just block it out.
I brought my 2.5-year-old to a little birthday party for her little 2.5-year-old friend, who's a boy, and the 2 of them were dancing together and holding hands, and I was like, it's already starting. She's 2.5,
You didn't beat up the kid, did you?
No, I had to talk to his dad, though. Yeah.
Nice.
He'll be okay.
Yeah?
Yeah, they say he'll make a full recovery.
He just learned to walk, and now he can't walk.
No, I'm talking about the dad.
Oh, the dad, okay.
They say he'll make a full recovery.
So, talk to me a little bit about wrestling versus acting, or acting in a film. I know I've interviewed a bunch of wrestlers, and the idea is just, it's an extension of who you are as a person, but how different is the dynamic?
It is and it isn't. It's an extension of who you are as a person to a degree, but it's a lot of acting, and it's the difference between theater and making a movie. The biggest difference to me, if I had to pick one thing, is that when I did a scene well in the movie, there wasn't 20,000 people that stood up and went crazy.
Right.
It's a lot more toned down, and you don't. Our world is fast paced. Everything's live. We produce 6 hours of live TV every week at WWE, and it's that constant rush of adrenaline, and the fans are there and they're going crazy, and it's moving.
Yeah.
The movie is laid back and it's slower, and you do the same scene over and over, and a lot of times you're lucky if you do a scene and you do it real well, and they say, great, moving on.
Right.
And that's what you get out of it, and you go to them and say, was that okay? And then, no, it's great. Right, thanks. And then,
And if you botch a move while you're wrestling,
they let you know.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's...
You didn't get booed, did you, in the middle of a take?
Yeah, a couple times.
Couldn't that be hilarious?
I do a bad take, and the whole crew would get up and boo me and throw cups at me or something,
Nice. Now, how serious, because I see on the movie poster, it's Paul Levesque, Triple H.
Yeah.
Is this something that I know the family you're affiliated with, so obviously wrestling is going to stay for a long time, but do you think acting is another route for you for a while, or is this just kind of like a fun thing that you're kind of doing?
No, listen, right now, I've got so many things in the fire going on. I'm an executive in the company working behind the scenes.
Yeah.
I'm still a talent, in front of the camera. In the movies, I've done a couple of movies in the last year. I've got a lot of things going on. It's all kind of right now for me what is working for me best at the moment, and making that I'm enjoying doing. I'm enjoying working at the office behind the scenes and helping create new talent.
Right.
enjoyed very much making the movies. You know, I enjoy still going in the ring and performing in front of people. It's what's right. I'm in a fortunate position of I don't have to do any of it.
Right.
You know, and that's a really nice place to be in. You're in the driver's seat, and,
Right.
and you know, if the right script comes along for the right project, and I think it's something I want to do, I can jump on it. If it's not, then you know, I pass on it and move on to the next thing. I like doing it. I enjoy doing it, but it's not something I don't need to be. Knocking on the door every day and having meetings every day going, please, you know, I'd really like to do this, please put me in it because I need the payday or because you know, I feel like I got to have that role. I don't have to have anything, so it's a really great thing for me right now. You know, the only thing I have to have is my wife and my kids, and so the rest of it is what it is.
Speaking of which, what's it like having Vince as a father-in-law?
Insane.
Yeah.
No, he's great. You know, it's so funny because people have a preconceived notion of what he is because of what they've seen, whether the Mr. McMahon character in the show or this crazy maverick businessman that they've heard about, or this guy that they've seen, you know, doing interviews on HBO or whatever, and you know, slapping papers out of somebody's hand. That's not him. You know, Vince's actually a very shy person, and he's just a very passionate person. And a very dedicated person, and when you attack what he's created, his business, that's his baby. You know, when you attack that, he attacks back. It angers him, and you know, but he's a great father-in-law. He's a great grandfather. The kids love him. You know. He's fun to be around. I enjoy working with him, and I did even, you know, before he was my father-in-law, you know, from probably '99, before I even met my wife. You know, he and I had a very close working relationship, even behind the scenes, which most guys never had, and I had that with him. We got along. We had the same mentality about the business, I think, and we've always worked together and you know, been very close in that manner. So it's kind of like I was kind of work partner and real good friends with him. And then I met his daughter, which was a little weird. And then you know, now he's my father-in-law, but it's still that I still see him as more like, you know, a really good friend than I do, you know, like most people are like, ugh, my in-laws are coming over or something. You know what I mean? Like he comes over, we just hang out. You know, he's just a great guy.